of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you and good morning, everyone. Welcome. This is the 47th Board of Mahoning County Commissioners meeting for the year. It is Thursday, already December 2nd. Can you believe that? 2021 at approximately, well, my watch says a minute early, but we'll say 10 o'clock in case it's wrong.
10.
Okay, we're going to go with Carol. All right, with that being said, I guess we can move into public comments.
That dapper young
Name and
man
record.
in the back row.
Where?
You see that dapper young man in the back row?
I think I know that guy. Hi, John. Anybody want to say anything?
He looks like he was just the guy on Christmas Story, you know, where, no, the
Hallmark.
one on 34th Street, you know,
Hallmark.
Christmas on
Was that you?
34th Street.
Yes, you may.
Thank you and good morning to everyone. And I know that on the agenda.
Tell us who you are.
John Moliterno, Executive Director, Western Reserve Port Authority.
Thank you, sir.
And I know that on the agenda today is a reappointment for one of the port board members of Mahoning County. And I know everyone else also knows that as well, is that you appoint four of the 8 board members that we have. We certainly appreciate it. You've appointed 3 people in the past. And the gentleman you have on the agenda today, Mr. Marty Loney, has been a tremendous asset.
And he just walked in impromptu.
Now I have to change what I'm.
I gotta pay him now. He was doing good. Let him keep
Let
going.
me go back out of there.
That means lunch and cocktails.
There you go.
He gets that. But you know what? Marty's been a great board member. And, very
Absolutely has.
supported, above and beyond, not just running good meetings, but well past that in terms of his support for the Port Authority, the Mahoning County Commissioners, and the Mahoning Valley. So again, thank you very much, and we appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? Public comments? Hi, Audrey.
Hi.
How's everything going?
Real good.
Good. Yes. We have a new deputy with us today.
Yes,
Welcome.
we
What's your
do.
name?
Deputy Tyree.
Nice to meet
Nice
you.
to see you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. All right. Well, with that being said, I need a motion to approve previous minutes of board meeting number 46 and approval of bills for payment.
So moved.
Second. Roll call.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficant?
Yes, journal entry number 1.
Motion to approve journal entry number 1.
Number root.
Second.
Italian was coming on.
I know.
Yeah, it's all right.
A whole bunch of it.
Seconded by Dave. Roll call.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes.
Root.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficant?
I start
Yes.
talking Italian, you'll know something's wrong.
I want you to. Then they don't understand what we're saying.
Well,
Okay.
I have that little app on my phone that interprets it.
All right, letters A through F under agreements, and we'll begin with Convention and Visitors Bureau, and I see Linda on the screen. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Letter A is an agreement with Coop and Company, which publishes Travel Host magazine. And we'd like to advertise in the Ohio Golf Guide, as well as their March-April issue of Travel Host, where we will feature the upcoming Jim Steranko exhibit at the Butler Art Institute.
Good. Okay, thank you. Engineers, Mr. Genetti.
Commissioners, letter B is an agreement with Shook Company for vehicle damage guardrail repairs at 3 different locations across the county. The estimated amount is $8,888.88.
Come on.
On general.
Couldn't we just change it like 87?
I didn't make the quote.
how did that happen?
You know, that reminds me, I was driving my car the other day and the
Oh,
speedometer went 1111111, 111,111 miles. Wow. I thought,
Did you turn it back?
it's an old car.
You taught me how to do that.
Oh, geez.
All right,
You
let's
little
see
activity.
who's next. You gotta be kidding me. Audrey Morales.
Good morning.
Good to see you.
Commissioners. Letter C, Job and Family Services Sub-Grant Agreement with YMCA of Youngstown for the Youth Development Program in the amount of $400,000, non-general. Letter D, Job and Family Service Agreement with Oasis Cleaning for cleaning services for APS clients in the amount of $2,000. Non-general.
OMB grants. I don't see Anna.
Yeah, she's probably on her way here.
Okay, you want to, okay.
This is an addendum with the state of Ohio Rehabilitation and Corrections for an additional increase of $9,504 to the 407 subsidy grant community-based corrections program, and that's a pass-through from the county to the county.
Okay, thank you, Audrey. Sanitary, Pat?
Commissioners, letter F is an agreement with Total SP LLC. This is to provide a new analytical balance at the lab at the Meander wastewater treatment plant. The estimated amount is $2,000, non-general funds.
Thank you, sir. Motion?
Motion to approve number 2, agreements A through F.
Second,
Roll call.
yes.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes, moving on, we have appointments, letters A and B. And the first appointment is the commissioners to appoint the following individuals to serve on the Convention and Visitors Bureau for 2-year term of service effective January 1st, 2022. And that's Wendy Swick, Colleen Kelly, and Mindy Schweiss. And I hope I said that correctly. Linda?
Yes, you did. And thank you, commissioners. These are 3 outstanding individuals. Wendy is with the Butler Institute of American Art. Colleen Kelly is with Youngstown Business Incubator, and Mindy Schweiss is the general manager at the Home 2 Suites in Austintown. They've been very valuable to have on our board and appreciate the reappointment for another term.
Very good. Thank you very much. And letter B, appoint the following person to serve on the Western Reserve Port Authority for a 4-year term effective January 1st, 2022. None other than our good friend, Marty Loney. And Marty is here. Marty has served admirably for many years. He's a great resource of information, both in the labor world and finance and everything else that he has done as being a port member. Mr. Moliterno gave him a great introduction, and I'd like to introduce him right now. Marty?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate the confidence here. With John and the whole staff at the Port Authority, I mean, it's really, we're going in really good directions right now. From kind of where we started to where we are now is quite honestly night and day. So really appreciate the vote of confidence, and we're going to make you proud and do some really cool things here in the Valley. So thank you again.
Very good. Thank you so much.
We have a great
Did you want to say
group of
anything?
people.
Yeah.
We have a great group.
You're
You're the leader,
You know,
and
couldn't
you're the
agree.
leader, Marty.
Yeah, I mean, when you have someone like Sam Cavelli, praising you on a regular basis, that brings a lot of credibility to anyone, and,
Appreciate that.
somebody at his stature that, realizes, how much value you add to the board. And, I can't say enough about the job the whole Port Authority's done, and you're right, we've come a long way.
Yeah.
Almost 10 years ago, we looked at trying to disband the Port Authority to reinvent it because it was dysfunctional, in a lot of ways that we thought. And, so it's come a long way. You guys have just done an amazing job, and couldn't be prouder of the job that you guys do on behalf of the whole valley and especially on behalf of Mahoning County. So, Marty, thank you very much. And John, your leadership has been invaluable. So thank you.
Thanks, Marty.
Okay, motion?
Motion to approve number 3, appointments A and B.
Second,
Roll call?
Commissioner Ditzler?
yes.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes, resolutions, letters A through H, and
Number
Audrey.
1, wait, we gotta approve
Addition?
this. Resolution.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I bypassed that. You're
Motion
right.
to approve resolutions number 1 additions.
Second,
Roll call.
Commissioner Ditzler?
yes.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes, now we got resolutions A through H, and I'm gonna let Audrey take letters A and B.
Commissioners, items A and B are the general fund appropriation resolution and the criminal and administrative justice fund appropriation resolution for 2022. We've had a good working with all the departments, those that met with the commissioners and those who may have met with me individually. I believe that we're able to keep all the operations of all the agencies and all the departments operating so that they can meet the services that their departments are required to do by Ohio Vice Code.
Thank you, Audrey, and how much work you put in that, you and your staff, and we're very appreciative of that. Engineers, Pat Genetti.
Commissioners, letter C is a resolution approving moral obligation of $704 to Allied Locksmith. This is a result of some emergency repairs due to a break-in at the traffic building in the District 1 office on Industrial Road. Letter D, resolution approving moral obligation of $165 to Diversified Comfort Services. This was to emergency repairs to our furnace at the District 1 location.
You got off cheap there.
Yeah. Letter E, moral obligation payment of $256 to Eastern Everflow. This was a gas leak at the District 1 building. They came out and repaired that. And letter F is a resolution approving a moral obligation payment to Unique Paving Materials. This was to purchase liquid to make cold mix. They're on state contract. There was a miscommunication between a couple supervisors and they made the purchase prior to the PO being cut. So it's a moral matter.
Thank you, sir. And Audrey? Liturgy.
Oh, so sorry, letter G, you're
That's
already
okay.
here. I apologize, Pat. Job and Family Service Amendment to the Local Workforce Area. 17 Memorandum of Understanding with MCTA to extend continuation of services until June 30th, 2022, and the estimated amount of $4,853.
Thank you. It's not like you don't have nothing else on your mind. You know, got a big agency. And sanitary, Pat.
Commissioners, letter H is an agreement, an authorization agreement with Patriot Locating. This is to enable them to enter into our sewer system in the Norquest and Evans area in Austintown, so they could accurately locate the sewer lines with respect to the gas line project that's going on.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Motion,
Motion to approve number 2, resolutions A through H.
Second.
roll call.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes. Well, that concludes our business portion of our meeting.
That
And
was quick.
for the good of the order, any elected officials or department heads care to comment?
Pat, nothing to say? Come on,
Nope.
talk to us, Pat. We have to congratulate Pat since he
Yeah.
last attended a meeting. I know he's like always gonna, but he showed up in person so we can make him turn red. Everybody get their cameras on him. So we want to congratulate you and Tammy.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Yes.
It's,
Many good healthy years.
it's a great thing because both of you are good people and deserve each other and it's all good. So,
As Carol told me, the
Congratulations.
honeydew list already began.
oh. All I can say is I ran into Tammy in Home Depot a couple days ago. She was buying paint. And I said, are you buying that for Pat? And she says, well, I'm gonna paint myself. I said, that means you're gonna screw it up, so Pat has to do it.
I think we're gonna get rid of all the men and only the women are gonna be up there.
I
I
agree.
think that would be the best way.
That was my mother's,
work
my
anyway.
mother's approach was always that. Because she had 2 left hands and she would slop paint all over everything.
He's left-handed
And my mom
Your
would,
wife is
my mom was left-handed too.
and I don't like to paint.
And
I don't-
she would go buy the paint
I
and
know
she
a
would
good
start
painter.
messing everything up and my dad would take over. That was the
paint
way
it.
she approached it.
They'll paint it, send her like shopping, they'll come in, paint it, you could act like you did it.
Yes.
Okay, anyone
That
else?
must be a yes, I would say.
You want to go to?
Well, I just, Marty, again, I want to thank you for serving. We've had a great, like Dave and Anthony have said, it's been a wonderful experience working with the Port Authority now compared to many years ago. And it has moved so professional to a level where we really see things happening in Mahoning County, but as well in Trumbull County. And for businesses and for labor and for everybody, there are just so many positive things when you have a partnership.
That's right.
I mean, it's very difficult to work without a partnership. And we see that here in the commissioner's office with our team. And we call it our team here of all of our people that work for us and the 2 electeds that are with me, Anthony and Dave. And you have that there.
Quite
And-
honestly, you know, with the partnerships that have been formed over the last few years with all of the economic development arms that are in the valley, starting to collaborate really together. And this is how it should be going. You know, everybody has their niche and everybody has their way that we should get things done, but everybody's working together now. And that is such a plus to how everything from the leadership all the way down, from the commissioners, quite honestly, with Trumbull and Mahoning, to allow us to do that and collaborate with each other for what's good for the valley is what we're really trying to get to. And I think everybody's on board with that now.
And it's,
And before, quite honestly, it wasn't.
No,
So
it
now
wasn't.
it is. So.
everybody was,
Yeah.
had their own little space. But you know what? You can't work like that. Because if you're out to try to help our valley and our residents and keep our young people here to get the economic development done, you need the team.
That's right.
And it took a long time, but you guys really did it. I'm proud of I'm proud of the port. I always brag about what's happening there. You got great board members, as Dave said. Sam's great, Rich, all of them. You have great board members.
Yeah.
And you know what? You all get along and you have a team.
That's right.
You know, we may not always agree, but we could agree to disagree.
Right.
You know, and you don't have anybody going rogue. So I'm done.
Okay.
Thank you.
I would
Mr. Ditz?
say the same thing, you know, and I have to reiterate that, you know, people like, you know, Marty and Ed Moransky and Sam Cavelli and Rich Edwards, Kathy Dillon, they all donate their time.
Yep.
They get paid nothing
Nothing.
for being on the Port Authority board. And they bring their skills, their experience and their value to the whole valley on behalf of it. And, you know, we get such amazing work out of people that have been so accomplished and so successful in the private sector and in life and in business, you know, and they bring that value to us that's invaluable, you know, and you know, and you get someone like John and Anthony and Sarah and, you know, all of you in the economic development end and, you know, and the airport end, you know, people don't realize that we still have quite a few flights going out, private and charters and military and different things are coming and going every day. And, you know, so it's just a collection of good people that are doing things for the right reasons. So can't thank all of you enough for the job you've done.
Thank you.
If I could say one more quick comment. The three of you, you embarrassed poor Pat here, so just congratulations. And I'm gonna do the same to the three of you, and that is that I can't say enough on behalf of the staff and the board of the Port Authority, that the commitment that the Mahoning County Commissioners have made that to our organization has been phenomenal. And when you say that you're gonna do something, you do it. And you put the full resources of the county behind it. And we can't thank you enough for that. And I think that as the years move forward, you're gonna see the direct results of all of the time and the dollars that you put into some of those projects. And I think it's gonna be very exciting, not just for this region, but for the whole state to see that happen.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, as we move forward, you know, it's, you know, we're getting through the budget hearings and different things and, you know, establishing how we proactively plan for the 2022 fiscal year, you know, and you know, it would take forever to sit down and go through all the scenarios, but, you know, it's sad how so much has been inaccurately portrayed with respect to the finances of the facilities and the buildings and the things in Mahoning County. And, you know, so I'll just say that the timing is suspect and we'll leave it at that. And as we move forward, you know, I think that, you know, our bond ratings, our excellent bond ratings and, you know, and Standard & Poor's and, you know, the verbiage that's been in this past bond rating saying how we have the bond ratings and the value that we do because of the fiscal responsibility and the direction Mahoning County has been put by the Board of Commissioners led by Audrey as well. And, you know, so all the things are on a positive note, and going in the right direction. And we are proud of the fact that we're doing good things in Mahoning County, you know, from a financial standpoint. So that's first and foremost, and I'll just kind of leave it at that.
No, I agree. Dave and Carol, I agree. You know, speaking of the Port Authority, Marty and John, I remember when this was brought to the commissioners by Tim Ryan. And it was a venture that basically played off of what was going on in Akron at the time, and then the Port Authority down in Wellsville. And was brought to us, the commissioners approved it. We came up with a funding plan between the two counties to do it, and it was based on a regional collaborative effort. And from what I've seen from that point till now, there has been numerous projects that the board and yourself, John, because you took over at a controversial time and really have done a yeoman's work. And Marty, you as well at the helm. We would not have the projects, we would not have the ability, because when these large companies like casinos and other businesses come here, do you have a Port Authority? You know, what do we have available to ourselves? Where can I go for help? And we want you there. We want the chamber there. We want every economic agency here at the beckoning call to bring business in our county. And the Port Authority has stood tall. I've been proud as a commissioner to support it, proud to see the work that's been accomplished by everybody here, and working well with Trumbull County, because we're basically tied socioeconomic with that county as well. And you've really should give yourselves a pat on the back. And with respect to what Dave said with our budget, you know, Mahoning County has stayed so strong fiscally. We have a AA- rating. We've never lost that in the last two budgets that we have done. We've had no audit findings in the county. Our general fund has been strong. Mahoning County is a magnet for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars on federal grants. And all of that is accounted for. It's audited for. And Audrey sees it. We see it. The auditor sees it. There's been no findings in Mahoning County. Things have actually been running very strong, despite some upheavals when the economy was bad. Mahoning County went through that, and we went through it very well. We didn't have any layoffs. We've kept everybody where they should be, and we continue to bring businesses in here. Our sales tax revenues are strong. We have good management principles. It's all in our documents. And I want to thank Audrey for all the hard work, how well she works with the auditor. I mean, with everybody in the county, the sheriff. We have a team here in place, as Carol said, and I'm proud to see what we have done. And with that being said, is there anything, Audrey, you would like to add?
Yeah, if you want me to talk on any of that.
Whatever you want, it's your call.
We do have a stabilization,
Yes.
both criminal and general.
Some of the things when you're looking at county finances and some of the numbers and things that have been recently in the media relates to our cost allocation plan. That plan is directed by federal regulations, and it's required in order for us to get reimbursements from JFS and some of the other agencies. Other agencies use it to get additional dollars. The sheriff's office uses it to get reimbursement for TCAP dollars related to federal state grants there. And so it's a plan, is a way to bring money back into the general fund and the justice fund. That fund, basically, the numbers and things are there, but you have to also understand in regards to our Oak Hill building, that building also houses general fund departments, general fund services, storage. Sheriff has some space for his day reporting program there, and all of those things. Those things are obligations of the general fund. That building was never intended to be a revenue completely supported fund. It can, as long as there's a general fund department or a justice fund department in a county building, those funds, the general fund will be supporting that. And when it comes to the prosecutor's office, the coroner's office, which is funded by the justice fund, the cost for the space is supported by the general fund. The day reporting program for the sheriff, that is still supported by the general fund. All the debt service related to the sheriff's office is supported by the general fund. Those, all of our dollars, how they go, we make them work countywide, and they support county services. This is a government. This is not a place where we're supposed to be building a profit. If so, we have a problem. It's to cover the services and the needs that are there. So that's what it is. The other thing is to understand that right now, in that building, we cannot just put anybody in that building. We have tax exempt debt on that building. And so you cannot just put anybody in there. We can't even put a whole lot of nonprofits in there because the majority of the percentage of the use has to be governmental. And right now it's at that. And we guard that. We look at that whenever anybody's looking at that building. I talk with the commissioners and we determine if that can fit. We talk with our bond counsel and they let us know whether we can put someone in that building. Basically, it served the need for what at the point in time that it was supposed to serve the need, and it has served that need. JFS is a very large operation. At the time that the building moved in, I was here in the county. At that time, they needed a large space. And the financial situation isn't what it was today. We are in a much better position at this point in time. The commissioners have been very aggressive of paying down debt. They have also been very aggressive of refunding debt and getting lower interest rates, things like that, to reduce the cost of all of our space and all of our buildings. And so those are the things that the county has done. Right now, part of the debt that is outstanding, that 11 million is outstanding, is still in the capital project fund for space and renovations that need to happen for JFS. It's also charged based on the appreciation, not on your debt service. This cost allocation plan deals with things based on depreciation, and it does a useful life and it allocates it on there. So you don't have apples to oranges when you're trying to put the debt to that. Same thing with my house. I owe a lot liability on my house. We own liability on the Justice Center. We own liability, have liability or debt on the Juvenile Justice Center, the courthouse with all the renovations that were there. That is just a part of government and the process of government. And it's important to understand the cost allocation. The amount of any amount that's under is basically a general fund obligation. We have general fund departments. I can't overcharge JFS. The commissioners cannot overcharge JFS to cover a general fund department. I can only charge them cost. And that's the way the structure of the building is, and that's the way the structure of the revenue and the debt for those buildings are.
And actually, the 11 million
I
that
was just
you
gonna
said
say,
is factually only 6.8.
It's six
So
if
they're
you
all
take that.
numbers
It's,
to add into the equation.
And also during this,
I thought it was 5.
also, no,
6.8.
also during construction, when you're looking at a construction project, and Pat knows this, when you're building, you're not using that project at the time. The offices aren't in there. You have not capitalized it, so we're not able to depreciate it. So the earlier years, you're gonna have a lot more expense than you are gonna have revenue because you can't bring people in yet. So those are there. That's what's happening. I think that overall, we've done a good job of, and commissioners have done a good job of handling the debt for that building, being aggressive of back then, we had higher interest rates. We have excellent interest rates right now. We just refunded one of the older 2014 bonds, which happened in this year in 2021, to increase the interest, reduce the interest rate on that, which reduces the cost of capital. So as we utilize those dollars and the last dollars that have to be spent on that building to do some renovations within JFS, those costs will then be depreciated also over their useful life, and that cost would then be picked up by those departments.
And we're proactive as a group, all of us. Audrey is our leader on this. She's our finance person, Dave, Anthony, myself, and our team. I mean, we have had discussions on what we need to do with everything in Mahoning County that we own. How do we make that more efficient? How do we work on maybe changing the way it looks in Mahoning County by looking at our buildings? And that's everything we own.
Right.
I mean, what did we just do on Bev Road? On Bev Road, we just repurposed one of our buildings to make it more efficient for the sheriff's department and for the green team. So, we're looking at things that we need to do in Mahoning County to move our county forward. We have a stabilization fund. Years ago, we didn't have that. I mean, we're AA-. We have excellent ratings. Anthony and Dave were there in New York the last 2 times, and even when I was there. I mean, we have not changed. So that shows that people need to communicate more to us who are in charge of most of the buildings, all the buildings, and most of everything else that we do in Mahoning County, as you see on these agendas, all these additions and that. We all look at that prior to these meetings. We all sit down and go over the its that Nancy puts together and ask questions before we even vote on them. And so I just wish that in the future, if someone has any financials that need to be looked at or need to be addressed, they should be first come over in a staff meeting and discuss it so we could be on the same page and put out the right information. That's all I ask for. It's the right one. Through a pandemic last year, our focus wasn't on buildings. It was on the Mahoning County residents, health and safety. How do we keep them afloat? How do we feed them? How do we make them live through this craziness? Our focus, the 3 of us, was on that. And that's where we are. And now, God willing, maybe this will lighten up a little bit, I'm hoping. And now we can move ahead and have different meetings to look at what we had our plans started with our 5-year projections. So,
And there's always projects and issues and things going on with respect to buildings. We look at energy efficiencies all the time. You know, Jimmy monitors all of that. You know, we look for ways to improve, ways to reduce costs.
right.
We take and we just, you know, we're given buildings from when MRDD had to change and refocus on their direction. Now we have Bev Road that's turned over to us. We have the campus of care turned over to us. So there's a lot of different responsibilities now that have become part of our responsibility. So, you know, and we're moving Bev Road. We just consolidated all the task force in Mahoning County, all the law enforcement task force into Bev Road. So now we're going to be saving all of them costs that they currently expend, putting it into one facility, being a better response to Mahoning County residents to be able to go after whatever problems that there are or whatever projects they're working on. You know, the campus of care is moving forward, you know, so it's an ever-changing pendulum with respect to buildings and efficiencies and how we move forward. And it's something that's a constant review. It's not something you throw out there every 4 years conveniently to say you spend or you didn't spend money this way or that way, and to look at it under a microscope. Everything, like Audrey alluded to, is done for a reason, and it's done well by this board in this county, as has been validated by Standard & Poor's and the bond ratings that we have. So, you know, it speaks for itself.
Yeah, and Dave's right. You know, one of the things that the report failed to mention is the fact over the years of the cost savings that we have been able to save with respect to Oak Hill Renaissance Center. You know, not only the money that JFS generates into that facility, is the fact that when we years ago took over that facility, we saved ourselves over $4.5 million. We would have had to build a new morgue because the coroner was housed in that property. We took offline the annex building, the old Sears warehouse there in Youngstown. We closed that down. That building was deplorable. It held the Board of Elections and then had the Veterans Office. We were able to move both of those agencies and not have to put a $5 million renovation cost into that facility and move those folks into
We
Oak
sold
Hill.
the building.
And we gave brand new space. We did.
We sold that.
And we
building.
gave brand new space to our veterans who were having strokes trying to walk up the steps at the old annex building just to see a caseworker. Now they have handicap accessibility. They have private offices. Everything's housed in the Oak Hill Center, as well as the Board of Elections. So, you know, I believe those costs should have been imputed in there, but they weren't. But that was a big cost savings at the time to Mahoning County, who was financially hurt during those years. And it is a one-stop shop, as Audrey said, Carol and Dave. And, if you're gonna report something, just be accurate about it. You have to put those intangibles in there as far as it goes. And I agree, we're gonna reevaluate everything come next year and take a look at every single property that we have, and we should do that. So with that being said, yes, sir, your name?
Jim Horvath.
Yes, sir.
Milton and Austin Town both. You're talking about accountability and trying to get people focused on accountability and oversight and so on and so forth. I've thought for many years that every project in the county, especially now in the world of links that we live in, if you renovate a road or you renovate a building, there should be a link. And that link should link to the entire contract online. So the public can look at that. I can look at who the general contractor is, who the supplier, like the asphalt supplier of a road, who painted the lines on the road, who's in charge of these contracts, and more importantly,
Jimmy, does that go through your office?
Not all of it does.
like on a telephone pole, literally a link, so that I can look at, see who that inspector is. Last night was a pretty good example. I don't know if anybody was on the road last night, but as we fix the roads and even as the roads are lined, I don't know who's painting them. You can't see. You can't see anything. The roads, there are no lines on the roads. The roads are they're narrower. New road, down where Dave and myself live. You drive down New Road, it just gets narrower and narrower and narrower. A few years ago, school bus fell off the side of it. You can't pull a boat behind your car, even on Route 45 anymore hardly, because the roads continue to just get narrower and narrower. They squeeze it more and more and more. These accountability issues, if they don't match with the specifications, there are people that will go out there with a tape measure and measure it and hold those accountable that should be doing those projects that we're dumping millions and millions of dollars into. And that's a big expense. It's a little bit like even in the courthouse. I think that in the courthouse building, like all of the judges, all of the courtrooms should have active 24-hour digital voice picture recordings so that the public has access to this information, because the transcripts don't match.
That would be very difficult.
That does not match what's going on in real life.
Yeah.
And when the rules are broken,
Right.
people could refer back to the rules, and you see it every single day in the court.
Thank you, Mr. Orvat. Thank you.
I think that would be very handy.
Okay.
That's really no one.
Jimmy.
I could say the bid results are put on the website. When we open bids, the results are posted. When anyone makes a recommendation, the tabulations with the letter recommendations come to your commissioners. They are on the agenda and they are discussed at each meeting.
And every
We're not
meeting.
Okay.
more high tech than that, but immediately after we open bids, prospective bidder list goes on the website so everyone can see what was bid. Then it comes on the ITS, and then it comes to you with all the documentation on why a bidder was given to award. That's all public information. Maybe we can move forward later with providing more on the website. I don't know.
Okay.
We've done what we could to let everyone know immediately what we're doing with opening bids.
Okay.
I certainly wasn't questioning that.
No, you make a good point, Mr. Horvath. We appreciate that.
Yeah, I know you're not
I
questioning,
know
but
that you guys were saying that people were asking all these physical questions. That would be an easy link. If it was a link, they would be able to see immediately if they wanted to see.
Look at that.
And
Okay.
the commissioners do, they do, we have something called Clear Glove, which are citizen transparency, citizen transparency, that's part of our Munis system,
First county to do
our
that.
financial
That's our
provider.
system.
The commissioners
We do that.
established that through my
you.
office, to set it up so that individuals can go on there and look at departments, the budgets. They can drill down. You can drill down, you can see compensation, you can see, you can even see down into the vendors. The only ones that we don't have on there are the vendors that would be like child support, things like those agencies, some of the JFS
You're
ones
not allowed.
where you're not allowed to disclose that information, but that is information that is available on the line. And then the auditor's office also has the open checkbook that the state has, and it has the same information where you can drill down into vendors.
But the one that Audrey's speaking of is ours.
The citizen
The
transparency.
citizen transparency is Audrey put that together for us, working with us to see what we wanted on that. So it is there. And after the meeting, we could give you the link if you.
I can find a lot of stuff. I'm just stating that it'd be.
No, what I'm saying is we
Stating
do
that you could
have-
just
We do have some of that online already, but sometimes through our IT, you have to go through the county web and just
We
search.
painfully grind for all of that.
Yes, you
On a regular
do.
basis.
I do that as well.
I did want to ask about the water and sewer lake project in Lake Milton.
Well,
Possible?
No.
Not here.
It's not
I'm
here.
sorry. We're-
Okay.
But it's all out there too, but yeah,
It is.
Well, I won't work out, but that's okay.
okay. We're well aware
That's
of
for
it.
another,
We're well
that's
aware
for
of it.
another meeting out in Lake Milton.
All right, anybody else? Dave, Carol, Audrey,
No, I'm
did you
good.
finish your?
I'm
point.
finished. I did want to just very, very briefly just acknowledge Anna. She's been working very hard on getting some of our grant reports done and really having, dealing with all the agencies that we work with. And so I do appreciate all her hard efforts to get those reports done, to make sure that we're doing things on time and in a timely manner. And all the frustration, I just want to acknowledge her for her time and her efforts for doing that.
Yes,
Good deal, Anna.
absolutely, Anna.
Good job.
Expert.
So when you leave, you'll have 5 more projects, you know. what
Yeah.
that-
Yeah, that's what
That's that
Yeah.
lead in.
We'll find you some. All right, anyone
I
else?
can find you some.
Audrey, you good?
With that being said, I know you're trying to, we're gonna end the meeting, but commissioners, I'd like to thank you. And what you just said, all 4 of you, explaining things. So when you hear the rumor mill, you explained it explicitly. So that
Thank you.
helps the public to totally understand what is going on and not jump at what you hear.
Thank you. We
Thank you,
appreciate that.
Truly
Audrey.
appreciate you guys for doing that. You really broke it down for us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay?
All right, our next meeting,
It'll be Thursday, right here.
Thursday next week, right here at 10 o'clock. All right, do I have a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
Roll call?
Commissioner Ditzler?
yes.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Before we conclude, I know Nancy, I shouldn't do this, but don't forget Friday is the tree lighting in downtown Youngstown, and the flea will be there where you can buy all kind of nice little things so they have arts and crafts. So I just wanted to say that. Sorry, Nancy.
No, it's
Yes.
okay. No.
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficant?
Yes. Okay, thank you.